Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
Okay, so welcome. Today we will talk about content, how you can create content. Okay, so I want to focus more on video content. Or workshop content. You agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I will deal with content as presentation. So I want to start and say, okay, how many types of presentations should we plan for? So the first presentation, or the first type we talked about, is a seminar to sell my product. That's right. This is the one which we talk about 20 to 90 minutes, and we experiment and we exercise a sequence for this particular seminar. That's right. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The second one, it would be I would call it keynote, and the keynote would be just a presentation which has information in it. Okay? And the third one is delivery. Delivery will be the basically your program. So do you have in your mind these three different levels of presentations?
Do I have it now?
Not you have it now, but yeah,
I didn't have it
like
before.
you visualize that you have to distinguish between these three levels of.
So the keynote one is one if you're a guest somewhere on someone else's stage to present and get people interested so that they come to you and then do the next step.
But you don't have an offer at the end.
Yeah.
This is what we covered under speak to sell. So
Yeah.
like
Okay.
when we talk speak to sell, so if you want to speak to sell, this is the type of presentation we have. Okay. So here I'm getting my tribe to buy into my program, and here I want to deliver my program. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the keynote isn't, you said presenting info, but now it's a speech to sell.
We define it in our workbook as a speak to sell, because in our workbook we have a speak to sell from the through presentations,
Yeah.
or enroll through presentation here. So if I want to sell or enroll, this is the type of presentations I will have.
Right.
If I'm invited to someone else to give an information presentation, I will call it for now keynote.
Okay.
And if I want to deliver my program, it's a different set of presentations. Okay? So this is one example of presentation, which is what we do here. We want to deliver this program. So do you have the product sheet of your own program that you want to deliver it over webinar, over videos, over workshops? Do you have it handy? Okay. Are we clear here on these three classes? So we will focus more on how to build content for delivery. Okay? And the idea is the same. The content will be delivered. You can draft it, you can write it, and once you draft and write it, you will not need notes to be able to work it out. So, what is if you have the product sheet, the question is, what is your product name? So if you don't have the product sheet, can you just write in your notes, what's the product name we want to design today? So what's the product name?
I have social media training.
Okay. Marcel, what would be the product name?
You know that. How to eat your elephant.
Okay. Mike, what would be your product name? So you pick up one video series from the video series you want to create,
Yeah.
and just write a name for it. And you will just my goal by the end of this day is you will be basically having the script that you can go and video your series at the end of the day. So what is, pick up a title.
I don't know. Receipts are key.
Okay, so write it down. The receipts are key. The following question will be is, what is the benefits for audience of this particular offer? Like, what are the benefits? What do you like your audience to receive from this particular training? And the benefits are always rational to
Benefit?
are rational to
Awareness of expenses.
dollars. So write it down. Awareness of expenses. They are rational to dollars. They are rational to time. They are rational to process or information, and they are rational to relationship. So these are the the rational of the benefits. So what are the benefits of your offer?
Can we share?
Yeah.
Oh. Awareness of expenses, cataloging of expenses, tax savings, tax savings gained, and relationship. I'm stuck on relationship.
Do it themselves or
That's the relationship.
Yeah, if you want to do it yourself, like.
Okay. How to take control.
How is the control? Okay. Okay, Marcel, do you wanna?
Getting the capability of simplifying, prioritizing, the capability to calm down, becoming more efficient, and therefore having more time for family and.
Okay. What's yours?
I said get clients, save on advertising, save time with social media posts, create better relationship with customers, and step-by-step plan.
Okay. Now, what is the length you plan to have this particular lecture or workshop or seminar? So, what is the length do you plan to have it? How long will it take you? Or what is the plan to cover this?
Say 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah, I'll focus on giving it networking luncheons. Presentation time's usually about 20 minutes.
Okay. Marcel, how long your this workshop will be, or this program will be?
In
We can always change it at the end.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking 3 months. So 12 would be 12 days, so let's say around 100 hours.
100 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. How long is
2 hours?
2 hours? So we have a course of 20 minutes, 2 hours and 100 hours. Very interesting. No, this is the initial, and you will find out what the best time you can use for this particular topic. The question now will be is, what are the topics that you will cover under this product name? So can you start with, let's call it 5 topics for now. So what is the initial 5 topics that you would like anybody to come and learn about this particular workshop or course? So you start with 4 benefits or 3 benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So for sure you should be able to get. There is no brainers, right?
Right.
Because if I will change each one of these 4 benefits into a question, it will become a topic. Yeah, and for sure I can add at least 1. So what is the topics? Can you list 5 topics that when people come to this particular workshop or this training will be able to learn it? So, Marcel, do you have topics, or this is you will just do them right now?
Okay.
Yeah, then I would refer back to
Just pick a
to
topic.
the learnings, like how to simplify.
So, I would encourage you to take a piece of paper and just write them down.
Okay.
Because I would be able today to show you what you should cover in the 100 hours. And how we can simply just spend another 100 hours in producing this 100 hours of learning. That's it. On videos. It's so simple. Just keep writing. Like, don't. If you come up with more than 5, is great. Like, if you came up with 5, just keep going. If you find other topic, because. And if you stuck, let me know. So, do you have 5 topics?
I think so.
So, what are your topics?
Take control of your numbers.
Okay.
What is a chart of accounts? What category should I consider? What about expenses I personally pay for?
Okay.
Undo expenses, erode profits.
Okay. What's your topics? What's your topics?
Okay, I have how to use social media platforms, creating a monthly calendar, using hashtags and speaking social media language, create relevant content and build hype, being consistent, respond and engage with audience, promoting and selling through your posts, analytics analysis, creating and utilizing advertisements.
Okay. Marcel, you want to share your topics?
How to calm down, how to simplify, how to prioritize, become more efficient, and how this will save you time and money.
Okay. Now, can you add 7 more topics to your 5 topics?
Do I have to keep making another 7?
2 each, add 7 underneath each.
No. Can you add 7 more topics?
Add 7 more, okay.
Yeah, you said right now, brainstorm and said, okay,
Yeah.
this are the 5 topics I should be able to cover.
Yeah, okay.
Can you create 7 other topics?
Done.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I have them already written down.
So you will have total of 12 topic.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you come up with another 7 topics? Do your best to come up with another 7 topics, which this session will cover.
Where's the fire extinguisher?
It has to be rational. If
There's
you
gonna be a
participate,
lot of smoke tonight that's coming in.
yeah, if you participate in this particular, if you fully engage and participate, you realize one thing. How many benefits do you have?
How many benefits?
here, how many benefits?
Well, there's 4 quadrants.
There are 4, right?
Yeah.
At least 4.
Yeah.
So if I can share with you how you can achieve each benefit using 3 topics, what is the total? 3 topics times 4 will be 12.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm asking you here. Okay?
Yeah.
So
Come up with 3 more benefits of each.
can you come up with another 7 topics?
Okay.
Maybe some will come up with 3, maybe some will come up with 5, maybe someone will come up with 9. However, the more you bring to the table, it will show you how you can structure this particular course or workshop. So Marcel, what are the 7? Write them down, my friend.
Yeah, I have them here.
You're gonna give us time to work on it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, don't ask any questions.
Sure. Okay. So spend 2 minutes. Write 7 topics that you can cover under the benefits of this particular workshop.
It's interesting that I wrote step by step.
Just you will need time. So
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
that's okay.
Oh, I was just wondering, have you already created your like steps to eating an elephant? Like, have you worked through like with clients and customers on
Mhm.
steps and stuff?
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. And are you
So-
using the topics from that? Like from your steps?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So I use 7 steps, and put it on. This is I do the one-on-one coaching. So the 7 steps I do apply, putting the strengths people have into action so that they can deal with whatever life or business situation that is, and overcome the normally holding back missing skills or negative things.
Yeah. So I get that. Interesting. Yeah, I found that a lot in university. It was like I wanted to do so many clubs. I wanted to do all these projects and things, and I had this gazillion things, and I just felt
You need more
overwhelmed.
time?
No, I think we're good.
They don't have the time to
Okay.
sit down.
So,
These are always-
did you find new topics?
Yes. Kind of.
So, do you want to share, Mike?
Sure. Do I need a bank account? Meals and entertainment. What's the cost of not tracking? Track it now, not later. Have more time for planning, more time for family. Create a time each week to wrap together. Checklist to stay on top.
Okay. Is there any of these topics you overlapping with the topics in the 5 you created before?
Sorry, I forgot this.
Do you have any?
Yeah.
I didn't have it over.
So
Hey,
my
what's up? Yeah.
mine are realize and create awareness, recognize and analyze, repeat and put fires out. React and put fires out. Reframe, rehearse and try it out. Replace and enjoy the new freedom. Repeat and check for required adjustments.
Okay. So,
Hello. Okay, the next ones I had after the analytics. Oh, after advertisement, I wrote another 3, which was teaching your staff, promoting videos and pictures, and then this is a really key one I came up with: teaching versus bragging and the balance.
so why do you come up with a key one in the additional 7? What you are missing in the 5?
I never really thought about
Okay.
because I got an image in my head of one of the clients I helped with social media.
Okay, so the exercise, if you do it in this way, it gives you a better clarity. Okay?
Okay.
That's why you said I have a key one now.
Mm-hmm.
So the third piece of this exercise is what are the extra 3 topics you can add to the list.
Okay.
So can you have an extra 3 topics? And believe me, it's not it's a well thought, because usually people will come for a basic topics, adds on, extras, bonuses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the other 3 topics that you can add within the benefits people can deliver? Marcel, can you think about 3 other topics?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I got one.
If you have more than 3, you keep going. It's not.
Sorry about that.
Okay. can you add 3 more topics?
What the hell?
We found someone was saying they found
Someone.
a key
Who's
topic.
someone? There's only 2 people here. Which one?
Who found
Wow.
a new key topic in the 7? You found a new key topic in the 7, that's right? So can we add 3 more topics to the same benefits?
No, really, are you?
He was gonna say it anyway.
I know.
He's all up his sleeve.
So brainstorm about 3 extra topics that people can learn to achieve the same benefits under the same title of your own seminar or webinar or workshop.
Now I have to take it.
Did you find 3 more?
Oh yeah.
Can you find more than 3?
Oh yeah.
So what's holding you? This is what I tell myself.
That's
Find
all.
3 more?
Yeah.
What are your 3?
How this will free up your time. How this will de-stress you and give you better relationships. How this will give you a go-to framework you can always rely on.
Okay. So this is the first level, which we call it the 573 documentation. So now we documented 12 topics. If I go ahead and by session number 2 on this day, and I will share with you that you can talk about this topic for 5 minutes. How many minutes you spend on 12?
So that's 60.
60, which is 1 hour. So when we reach this stage, we will feel sorry for the individual who wants to make 20 minutes talk with 12 topics, because now he has to speak like 1 minute and a half per topic,
Yeah.
which is no value will be there, okay? So the second level will be distill. So if I want to distill,
Sorry, back up. Why 573? What's the psychology behind 573?
Cool.
Why couldn't it be 6?
because
6 and 2?
five is a reasonable number to convince people, because each one of these, if I will pick up your title and I will pick up the benefits, I can come up with a complete different topics, complete different talks. Do you agree with that?
Mhm.
So when we drive from 4 benefits, it's very simple to drive 5 questions,
Mhm.
because how you will make money out of it, how you will have a better relation out of it, what's the process there, and when can you achieve this? And if I have an introduction, this is my 5 topics.
Mhm.
So having 5 topics out of 4 benefits is very logical.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
If you have 5 ingredients you want to talk about it, or 5 topics you want to talk about it, if you will split each one of those into 2 topics, you come up with the other 5, and then you have 2 extra, which will lead to 7. So in the thought process, if you start from 5, how easy was to get from 5 to 7? Was it that much difficult?
No.
And how simplified it was to come up from 7 to 3? You did it right away, that's right?
Yeah.
So this is just basically how it maps. I have 4, and I need to come up with 3 literally topics about it. So this is just how it comes. Okay, so there is no too much justification more than that. If you start from 5 topics, from 4 benefits, and you have introduction and conclusion, you already have 2 out of the 5. So how many of you actually, before that, so if I want to go to Distill, can you go in and review the first step in Distill? Can you check out which topics can be merged together? And if there are topics which should be split into more. So let's first go through the merge situation. Can you go in and check if these topics can be merged? Like, is there 2 topics, you can merge them together? Okay, is there 2 topics, you can merge them together? Marsha? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Is there 2 topics, you can merge them together? And just label them the same number, like
Okay. Let's see.
is there 2 topics, you can merge them together?
Okay.
How many did you get to that?
7.
You went down to 7?
Yeah.
I went down a lot. 6.
You went down to 6 topics?
7.
7 topics?
Yeah.
Wow. Marcel, how far did you go down?
I still have my 7.
You have 7, or you came up from 15 to 7?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
I think so. Why is something wrong with that?
So this was not the real topics, because we're supposed to have 10 to 12, okay?
Hmm?
We're supposed to have 10 to 12. If you merge topics together, It means when you start here, you did not really look at alternative topics. You're basically renaming or. That's right.
No, I was going
No.
into different, more detail. Like there was themes.
I combine themes, like he said.
Okay, so you
But
combine.
could they
the-
be independent topics? They absolutely could be. But you
Okay.
said if they're like or similar, can we
Okay.
group them?
Okay.
So I did.
So each one of you has 7. Can you just stop this
Sorry.
spark? It sparked my head. Okay. Okay. Now, can you go with a different mindset and look at which topics can be split into 2 topics?
So from the 7 now?
From the 7 now, yeah, because now we are at 7 topics, that's right?
Yeah.
You are at 7 topics. Is there any topics, can you split them?
I'm lost.
Yeah, because
You-
we just
you
You
had-
just asked us to take the 12 and group them.
I
but
didn't
now
ask
you're
you to
asking-
group them. I didn't ask you to group them. I asked you if you have 15 topic,
Right.
can you review and see which topics are overlapping, or or they basically represent the same topic? So you came up with 7. So you went down from 15 to 7. Okay. I would expect people usually go from 15 to 12 to 13. They will find maybe 1 or 2 topics to be merged together, but you were doing it great here. Okay, no problem. Now, can you just make sure that you did not miss that there was a topic which you can split into?
I don't have a freaking clue what you want me to do anymore.
You have now 7 topics, that's right?
I've got 14.
But you said you merged them to 7.
Obviously, I didn't follow
Yeah,
your
but-
instructions.
No,
I didn't understand your instructions. I don't know what the hell I did.
So how you come up with 7?
I took like categories and
Yeah.
because they
Great. You took categories, so you make them 7 topics, that's right? Now, can you look at these 7 topics and make sure that none of them should be split back, or so or any of them should be split? That's
depends
it.
on the purpose.
I just wanna at this check.
Why would I want to split them now?
We wanna make sure that this is the 7 will go forward. That's it. If you don't have to split them. Okay?
Yeah, I understand.
You don't have to split them. If you end up having 7, you end up having 7. If you end up having 12, you end up having 12.
I can probably just cut one completely.
If you can cut one, completely eliminate it. If you can eliminate one, eliminate it. Do you have any feelings right now that any of those should split back, or any of those should split?
I don't know.
Okay. Can you order them? Can you put them in order, in logical order? Like this topic should come in logical order, that's right? Can you sort them in logical order?
I don't understand.
Can you sort them in logical order? Like
Order of what?
which one will be first, second, third, and fourth? So is this order? We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Are this is the logical order you would like to proceed, or you can reorder them in a different way?
I'm not sure how to order them or why I would order them differently or why maybe they're upside down, maybe they're mixed. I don't know. What's the objective?
The objective is to make logic, or to take the people step by step, or to make it logical to somebody in front of you, how this topic should be in a sequence. Because this topic should be made in a sequence. So what is the first one you have right now?
Oh, first one I have is take control of your numbers.
Okay. And what is the second topic?
What is a chart of accounts?
Okay. And the third one?
What category should I consider?
And the fourth one?
Do I need a bank account? Oh no, pardon me. What categories? What about expenses I personally pay for?
Okay. And the fifth?
Do expenses erode my profits?
And what's 7?
6 is create a time each week to wrap together, and 7 is checklist to stay on top.
Okay. It sounds to me that this is a logical order, because The last one is basically how to keep going on this, right?
I guess.
Yeah, so this is logical order. So
I'm not a real-time thinker. I think that's where my challenge is.
no, you have no challenges. You have no challenges. We just have enough time to do things. So you have now primarily 7 topics. You wanna the 7 topics went through an exercise of documented 5,
Yeah.
adding more 7 if you can.
Yeah.
Split, add an extra 3 if you would, and then you, in the distilling situation, is you should be able to consider merging or splitting. You can also consider eliminating. So these are the steps: is I eliminate, I merge, I split, I eliminate. So if I do the 3 steps: merge, split, eliminate, I make sure I start with initial set. Okay. It was amazing that the 3 of you will come up back with 7 topics out of 15. Is this good or bad?
But this was because we
This is good because if you have 7 topics, you have now how many ingredients per topic already? 2 or 3 because you merge the ingredients, right?
yeah.
So the topic now has more than just a topic title.
But it was like Mike said, it was like tagging it more or less, like grouping it into
Yes, which is good.
into related topics.
Yep, which is good. So you basically have 7 primarily topics. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. So we go through steps of distilling and then validation. So did you go through the distilling situation, the distilling step, which basically eliminate if you can, merge, split, and order them in a sequence? Okay. So what's required, Shamir, is put a product name, write for benefit. If you have the product sheet, you can use it. And this is basically for workshop. Give it a length of time initially. Come up with 5 topics that you would like to cover this benefit. Add extra 7, and then add extra 3. Then merge, see which ones should be merged, see which one should be splitted, and which one should be eliminated, and then order them in a sequence. In a logical sequence, which is when somebody look at it, well, yeah, it makes sense. I go through one topic, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. If you can spend quick time, just pick up one lecture you want to provide. 1 hour, 3 hours, 3 days. It doesn't matter. I would share with you how it can be done. Okay. So each one of you has their topics. You eliminate what you don't like to talk about. You merge, you split, and then you give them an order. That's right. Can we validate this topic now? Can we validate the topics? How do we validate a topic? How can we validate a topic?
Float the idea by your target audience.
This is the planning, so we have no audience. So can you answer why this topic is important?
Okay, so it's a validation from your own kind of.
Yes. So beside each topic, can you answer the question of why this topic is important? So beside each topic here, and if each one has the 4 color pens from Mike, that's right. So pick up a different color and just write down why this topic is important. So why this topic is important beside each one of them? or you want to pick up one topic as example?
I
So you pick up topic 1.
okay. Take control of your numbers.
Okay, why this topic is important?
Relative to what?
To the audience. Because you will stand at, when we're done here, you will stand and say, in the video or in person, you say, here's my table of contents.
Right.
I will cover what, take control of your numbers. It's important because,
Okay.
that's right?
Yep.
So why this is important? It helps doing what? It's important because it gives you a real-time information about the status of your business, so you can make an informative business decision. That's right.
Right.
You can understand your financial situation, so you
So
can
we're
make,
explaining the titles. Is that what
you
want
are
us to do?
we are we're supposed to say, to answer the question why it's important for people to know this topic, and from what, if you understand why it's important this topic.
So it's like a heading and a paragraph.
Yep. So you start now with this as a title.
Okay.
Why this title is why discussion under this title is important? Because the benefit of knowing this information, or the benefit the benefit of using it, or the benefit of knowing it, it would allow you to do what? So to pick up a random topic, Sandan, what is the topic? Pick up a topic. Read the topic for me.
Respond and engage with audience. Getting
So
followers.
why is important to respond and engage with audience? So why is important to respond and engage with audience?
Oh, for me,
Yeah.
I put to build engaged followers rather than just people who like your post.
Okay, why else?
To get more followers. And
Why you didn't think about to understand the nature of your followers and be able to better position your offers in front of them? You can also talk about, it's important because you can extract the pain by knowing in their own words how the pain will be spoken with, or to understand the pain with their own words. So what was the topic again?
Respond and engage with audience.
So why respond and engage with audience is important?
To understand pain points and to communicate with them on their level.
And you can also show them you can show them how you care about them and what quality of service they can get if they decide to jump with your service. Does this make sense? So if I stand and I justify why do I talk about engage with audience, I will be able to say these 3 to 5 sentences, right? So now I am showing you, or I'm teaching you, engage and respond to audience, so you can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sense to you, Mike?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Shamir, you have a title?
Yeah.
So what's title?
I just picked one. I'm not married to it, but I just said building and sustaining resilience.
So why is this important?
It's important because people don't believe that they can actually change the amount of resilience they have in their life. They think the life is doing things to them.
So what's the title again? Sorry, I'm sorry. What's the title?
Building and sustaining resilience.
Okay, so why is it important?
Because
Why should I listen to this title?
because you will learn something new about your body that is not that you were likely not exposed to, and you will learn to thrive and
Okay.
overcome challenges in life.
So it's not the first why you mentioned.
The first why.
Yeah, because in the first why you said people will not believe.
Okay.
So if I say people will not believe, no, going through this topic, I will show you how you can overcome your belief. So this is important because people don't know how to do it, or they they don't believe it exists.
Okay.
Make
You
sense?
don't know how to do it.
So why this topic is important? It should go beside each one of these topics.
Yeah, so I mean, I picked the workshop title, and my topics are the product name, but what I just said was that was my product name, what I just said.
Oh no, we need a topic under the product name.
Yeah, so I have, the first is myths that keep you from thriving.
Okay, so why is this important?
The myths that keep you from thriving,
Yeah.
because whatever you believe is really, you're pretty much locked into a path of what you believe, but I can show people that there are many things that are out there that you have no idea exists that can help you thrive in your life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any other reason you can add beside it? Why this topic is important for my talk?
Well, I think it's important, other than what I just said, it's important that people understand that they have options beyond the traditional ones that are thrown at them from the medical professionals and what they see in
Okay.
the marketing world.
Is there a third reason?
I think those are, well, for that
Okay.
particular topic, no.
I went through the exercise. How many benefits do we have? How many quadrants?
4.
So are you saying?
So for each one of these topics,
So you have to.
you don't have to. You don't have to. It's just when people mentally blocked and say, "No, I have only this. This is the one and the only why." People has to learn this topic. I go back and say there were 4 benefits.
Right.
So why this topic is important.
Right.
I can give it 1 or 2 initial answers. Now, is there 3 or 4 or 5 other importance? Why this topic is important? It should be because if I look at the topic from these angles, I may discover there are some other benefits or reasons for people to learn this topic because it will help some other quadrant in their mind. That's right.
Okay, so why
Does
should
it make sense?
cover the benefits?
Yes.
Okay.
So if I have 3 whys, it will help me not only filling the time, but also demonstrate and engage people why they need to learn about this topic. Make sense? So for each one of the topics you have, you should be able to illustrate why this topic is important for people to listen to or to learn it.
So,
Go
my
ahead.
talks though, should I even mention anything about relationships with my audience?
The relationship can be with their audience or with the relationship can be with their books. Remember, relationship, it's an abstract definition. Value and the money is abstract definition. So the relationship between me and the board, like I love the board. So I can make sure I can build a relationship between you as a speaker and the flip chart. I can make so remember these 4 words and you are guys now are experts in this domain now. I'm not that much expert anymore. These are process. So for example, to give you another example, where in your topics you will focus more on the process, how people will take steps and do. It must be 1 or 2 topics where you'll actually explain your system. So can you look at the benefits of when they do this system? Yes, they will save money because they are doing it themselves. They will have a better relationship with their numbers on their business. They now start to love their numbers because they are in the driver of the business. They are not real recipients of it. That's right.
So relationships isn't always about people.
It's about relationship. It's not always about people.
Okay.
Okay, so relationship, it can be about people, it can be about your books, about your computer, about your phone. Like I did a mistake yesterday, I upgraded my iOS to the new one, and my phone started to make phone calls randomly, and when I touch screens, there's so many funny things happening. Like it's very interesting. But however, the same problem happened before to Apple with iPhone Plus, like it happened like 2 years ago, and they add another update very quickly. So the response for the phone became so different.
The relationship with the phone.
Yeah, so I start to have a bad expectation from my phone because now I am concerned. I was looking to type a message to somebody and it should be like 3 sentences. Yeah, you can come at 4:15. However, it took me like half an hour because all these pop-ups comes and all of these different things came in. So I start to lose my relationship with the phone, the trust relationship. So relationship is a relationship. Is it with yourself, with your people, with your equipment, with your computer? Is based on the topic or the.
I've never heard you say that before.
Yeah,
No,
I
I-
heard you say
Because
that.
when you talk about relationships, you always talk about the woohoo people.
Because we were talking about how we.
Everything's about feeling and not.
Because
thinking.
we were talking about how to use this in the context of human connections or human interactions. So when you apply this to human interaction and the human connections, it will be relevant. The second thing also, and I'm not defending it here, the second thing also is people will be overwhelmed when you try to talk to them at the abstract level. That's right, because majority of us are practical,
Right.
are not theoretical, and we are not theoretical. So if I come and give the whole blown out of it, people will just go, oh, it's too much. So relationship means how they can develop a relationship to anything in the surrounding, including themselves. So if in your context is a relationship with numbers, relationship with text people, relationship with their books, that's right, relationship with their business. So don't limit it to relationship as feelers.
Okay.
Okay, make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions at how at? Or do you need more time to write whys against other topics?
I need days.
It shouldn't be days. It shouldn't be days. Because you have 7. That's right. If you spend a minute to write at a why and you put 3 whys besides the 7, you need only 21 minutes, which is 20 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Do you need more time, or should we move to the second validation?
Second validation meaning the second topic.
No. How you applied. What is the application of this topic in your customer or your audience?
So like, how do we present it?
When I learn this topic,
Yeah.
how will I apply it? What it will benefit me? How will I apply it?
The whole point is the product name is social media training. Like,
No,
How you
the
apply.
topic you mentioned was what?
let's see, analytics analysis.
No, the topic was answering and questioning, that's right? This was your topic.
Oh, I have lots of topics.
No, the one we talk about why.
Right. Respond and engage with audience to understand pain points and to communicate.
This is the why. This is the
Right,
why.
That's the why.
How your audience will apply this topic in their daily life or within the scope of so
Oh.
how they will apply it.
Okay. So they will apply it by being a part of other groups that are similar, or to following other.
Write it down.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to explain it to you.
Write it down.
Okay.
So when you so you can visualize yourself as following. You can say when you learn and understand this particular topic and name the topic. Like Shamir, what is the topic you have?
My topic is myths that keep you from driving.
So when you understand and learn the methods you can keep you from driving,
Here's
What-
how you can apply it.
what you will apply now?
You can apply your mindset to a solution that you hadn't thought of before, and how you can apply it is through breathing techniques.
Okay, so this is a good answer. How they will apply it. When they learn this particular topic, this is how they will apply. So any topic you should come up with. You say why it's important for me to listen to you. And now, what is the second one? How will I benefit from it, or how I will apply it to benefit from it? So how you'll apply it, you can say, I will show you a step-by-step system. Here he talks about bracing techniques. That's right.
Okay, so something basic is how to use social media platforms. The why is you need to know how to use them, and then when you learn how to use social media platforms, you will apply it by being efficient in your social media. I don't know how to explain that. Can you help me out a little bit?
So when you learn social media platform, how you'll apply? You'll be able to pick up the best approach, and you'll be able to match your activities to the most relevant social media platform where you can engage your audience.
Or I think the last part, like, it depends on who your target market is. So if your target market are people who don't know social media and are afraid to get into it, and you're giving them, holding their hands through it, that's a benefit. And the people who are already technocrats, but you are their guru, the coach's coach kind of
Right.
thing. If that's the market, then you have to appeal them differently, saying, here are the 3 different hacks you didn't know about Facebook that not many people know. Now that would apply to them and not to the beginners, because the beginners don't even know the basics. So
Right.
who's your market?
I work with clients anywhere in between.
It's not you work with client. Who is the ultimate audience of this particular learning?
Oh, for this particular topic, it would be people who don't know.
Okay, so you basically tailor it to people who don't know.
Right.
The benefits would be
Okay.
connect with your audience, leverage your message, connect with your audience.
You apply it by.
Under how, you can also talk about when they will apply it. That's right. When you are ready, we can move to the third part of the validation. So you don't ever share a topic which you cannot articulate why it's important for people to listen to you, to listen to this particular topic, and how they can use it. There is nothing wrong of saying, I am now introducing this topic because I want to get you more information to better understand the following topic.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, because now I will give you an introduction to the course. The introduction is very important for you to be able to understand what's the content of the course. And by how you apply the introduction to you is basically you understand the sequence, and you can plan for activities. Make sense? Okay. The last one, we call it what are you covering? So what are you covering? And under what, I want you to read the topic again, and can you figure 3 ingredients that this topic will should be talked about under this topic
3 ingredients?
for the topic. So what is the topic you had in mind?
Well, the topic I had was, the myths that keep you from thriving.
And why is it important?
Why is it important?
Yes.
Again, it will help you try to link it to there.
We talked about 3 whys.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to link it to benefits. Yeah. But it's important that it's actually an informational thing that will allow you to set a mindset to thrive.
And how do you apply it?
Apply it every day.
No, how do you apply it? Once you know the mindset to drive, you can now program your mindset to achieve
You now program
your goal.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
now apply it to achieve that.
So now, what are the 3 ingredients you should be able to talk about it
In that one topic.
in this one topic.
Okay, so I would talk about the
Write it down.
Okay.
Say it and write it down so
Okay,
don't forget it. So
yeah, so I mean basically it's the three ingredients.
so what is the 3 ingredients you can talk about?
So I can talk about that the heart is more than a pump.
Okay. The second ingredient.
Your emotions play a role.
My stomach, yeah.
Drink some water.
Sorry?
Drink some water.
He can't.
Oh, right.
Here you go, teasing him again.
Yeah, emotions play a role in your energy levels, and your biology is affected by your perception.
Okay. Is there 2 more ingredients you can cover?
Not whether overlapping on the other ones, but I can.
Can you push yourself a little bit harder?
Yeah. So it's basically what we're covering is how. So I can go. What am I
It goes
covering?
back. It goes back to the following: how many benefits?
Yeah. It goes back, yeah.
If you need to have like guidance, how you think
Right,
about it.
so so this is the introductory topic. So in itself, we're just setting up the knowledge base for then to dig deep into the other part.
Which is this is the why.
That's a why, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said. It's really setting up the knowledge base. But when you say that what are the ingredients? I guess one of the ingredients is setting you up so that you understand how your body functions, so you can better leverage.
Okay, so one topic is to understand. One ingredient is to understand how your body function.
Right.
That's right.
So you can leverage the knowledge to actually help you thrive.
And what is the? Do you have a second ingredient
Well, I had basically what I did
other than the 3?
other than the 3. I guess tuning your body,
Okay.
tune your body to help you find out of the box solutions.
Okay.
So this isn't the what anymore.
This is what
These are the
what you're
ingredient.
covering.
These are the ingredient you're covering. What are you covering within this topic?
So once you know how to create a calendar, you begin to see more time and create themes that guide your customers through your pages. Is that the how?
This is one of the ingredient.
I thought I was working on the how.
Ingredient are, yeah. This is the how. This is the, but the ingredient means the subtopics.
Right.
This ingredient means these subtopics.
Right.
Okay. So, Marcel, do you have subtopics?
Yeah.
Okay. So what
So
is?
I used the first one was realize.
Okay.
So the why was if you're not aware you cannot do anything about it. The how was how to look for triggers, and first ingredient would be what are triggers.
Okay. Second ingredient.
Which ones are relevant to you?
Okay. Third ingredient. Okay, guys. Just a side note here. If the first ingredient, what are triggers? What should be the next 4 ingredient? If the first ingredient, I will call it what are triggers. What is the next 4th ingredient will be?
List of the triggers?
What are triggers? He will add the list. The following one will be how to trigger, when to trigger, why people trigger. That's right. And which triggers are more relevant. So when you start with what are triggers, you can easily have other ingredient, because now you'll talk about how these triggers can trigger. This one of the ingredients, how each one of these triggers will impact you. That's right. So when you start with the question of what, when, why, how,
And where? Also, you go with a
you already have like
the 5.
you have like 5, and you can add more,
Yeah.
which you can add all the initial questions.
Yeah.
That's right. It's different than what the first ingredient of what Shamir was doing. So what your first ingredient was?
It's just learning how your body functions.
So this is it. He talks about body functioning. That's right. So body functioning. It's he talks about heart. He talks about few things. So if your ingredient starts with what, you can always ask 2 or 3 or 5 other questions relevant to the other ingredients. Okay. The exercise also can call for you can merge these ingredients into 4. Okay. So you can also have the distilling here, because when you plan this ingredient, you can look at their elimination, look at merging, look at splitting, and then you can order them. So can you sort these ingredients and these 5 ingredients into a logical order?
We're still talking about the one of the 5 topics still?
Yeah.
When you say this into logical order, that means you're now saying now you wanna.
If I wanna order this ingredient, as this is the most conceived, this is the most logical order you have
Okay, for that one topic.
for this one topic. Okay. So Mike has a proposition that he wants to talk for 20 minutes, and the question will be now is, when I will talk on 4 to 5 ingredients over 7 topics, it will be equal to what? 5 times 7 is 35. That's right. So they have here 7 topics. They will talk between 4 to 5 ingredients per topic. So if I pick up 5 ingredients times 7 is 35. 4 times 7 is 28. If I spend 2 minutes per ingredient, this will be what?
1 hour, no, 56.
Okay. If you are planning this for a day, or for a 3-day, or for 100 hour, it will be the same. So 100 hours, how many topics you can cover in 100 hours? I will cover 10 topics. So now I will talk more about each one of these ingredients. That's right. Because now I have to cover the topics, each one of the topic in 10 hours. So how many ingredients will I have in 10 hours? Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mike? Do you understand the...
What's the full question then? What is so?
So the questions are
Why is this important?
why it's important for you to listen to me, how you can apply it,
How can this be applied?
and then what are the ingredients you will cover in this topic. So the ingredients, you can start with 3 ingredients, which basically is a subtopic. You can start with 5. Is there anything wrong with starting with 7 ingredients for a big topic?
No.
Okay. And when you start with 5 or 7, consider doing it the same we did, like plan 5 topics, push yourself to write 7, and then summarize by 3. So the number of topics here, the number of ingredients here can expand if you have longer workshop. Okay? So any questions at this point?
So define an ingredient. It just
Pick up. Tell us a topic, and we can brainstorm ingredients.
topic. Take control of your numbers. So Knowing your margins, is that an ingredient?
It can be an ingredient, yeah. What else?
What do the numbers mean?
Okay. Shamir, can you help us with an ingredient for taking control of your number?
Or taking what?
Taking control of your numbers.
Can you throw in one ingredient?
Taking control of your numbers. One of them is to first know where to look.
Okay, so
Okay.
where to find the numbers? Marcel, do you want to throw in an ingredient? Okay.
Why you should know your numbers? Who can help you find the numbers?
Okay.
How to approach finding the numbers?
Wow, there's three. That's good.
Well, I learned this from the triggers you
You know?
talked about earlier on.
The other one is
My
Mo-
learning and pride.
yeah. My ingredient will be. Do you need a control on your numbers?
Do you need a control?
Yeah. And under this ingredient, I can talk about that many of us will basically have the invoices. They do have numbers in their heads. They believe numbers in their bank, and they never really have the time or the capacity or the interest to look at these numbers in one single sheet or in one single moment. So how much do you have in the bank? Maybe it's a day, maybe it's $100. This is what you believe, but did you ever actually validate this number? So when you send this information to your accountant and they send you back financial statements, you are waiting for one at the end of every year to give it to CRA. And when they overwhelm you with one every quarter, you say this is too much. I don't need to know this. Taking control of your number means you have to look at it on a daily basis or a weekly basis to have a real image or figure of your own operation or your own budget or your own business, and this will help you making decisions. So, do you need to have control of your numbers? And does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, which one of these ingredients are good? Which one are relevant? Which one will you use? Who can decide on that? You are the one who can decide on this ingredient. That's right? Make sense? Okay. Did anyone in the topics had introduction or conclusion? Did anyone use the word introduction or conclusion in the topics? So we will come to this in a minute, okay?
That's a good one, actually.
Okay. Did you talk about introduction or conclusion, or closing remarks or final thoughts
No, it didn't relate to the four.
to the topics?
Well, you wrote down the four benefits and you wrote to us three topics around
It
that.
doesn't matter if you don't have it.
That's
It's
not-
great.
it's
It's
not
great
a
because now you have two extra topics or
That's
three
right.
topics, right? So it's
Yeah,
great. So,
yeah.
okay. So I want to start with an ingredient. So if you pick up one ingredient, can you ask yourself what kind of stories you can tell around this ingredient? Can you think about one story? Because remember, people will relate with what? People will relate with
Personal experience.
the stories. People will understand stories.
So
it-
each ingredient is a story.
Each ingredient in a good shiny day, okay? So can you plan a story or stories for the one of the ingredients? So what's the story you have?
So the story I have is, when I what many people don't realize, and so that's not a story. That's more of information that my experience with others.
Okay, that's why I ask you the question. What kind of share with us the story right now? So the story, the story is simple. The story, it has, if you can notice, it has character. Why you tell the story, it will have pain point, defining moment, and the happy outcome. This is the story, that's right. Remember the stool, that's right. We took any story is like a stool on 3 legs. Pain point, defining moment, happy outcome, and you can say why you are telling the story and who are the character of the stories. So now can you share with us a story?
Okay. So there was this one of my clients who wasn't able to overcome her grief with her husband passing on. So for 6 months she was completely numb, and she had tried everything to try and overcome this, but she said that she felt no emotion at all. She was completely blocked, and she came to me, and when I explained to her to let go and just trust, the steps that I'm showing her, that allows her to connect her heart to her mind and have that full body awareness and acknowledge that emotion, and she trusted me.
And this is under which ingredient?
Well, so this is where
This is under which ingredient from the list?
the myths. This is how
The mess, that's right.
Yeah, this is where I say to the myths that keep you from thriving.
Okay. So Mike, do you think this is a relevant story for myth? Does it support the myth?
I don't know how to answer that.
Do you think this can support the myth? Or do you agree this can support?
Well, I didn't know what the myth was till after the story was told. Now I don't know how to relate it back because I forget.
Can you say this?
You'd have to tell me what is the myth, and then support it with the story.
So the topic is there are myths that keep you from thriving. That's the topic. And so the story that unfolded was about this woman who couldn't feel any emotions after her husband died. So she was blocking her emotions. And to her, this was just the universe's way of punishing her, whatever it is. And then when I said to her, really it's about in your control to actually feel this emotion. And there are simple steps to take. Connect your heart to your mind, that you can actually invite these, and it's all within your control. A lot of people feel that it's not in their control. They feel the universe is doing something, or somebody else is, they made me do this, or they made me feel this way. So in a 5-minute exercise, she began to feel these emotions, began the grieving process, and she cried. First time in the 6 months that she was able to really connect with her body and release that pain she had.
Okay.
Yep.
Make sense?
Yep.
So remember, if we go back for every ingredient, we came up from a topic that so we can talk about why it's important this and how people can apply it. That's right?
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about ingredient, it's an optional thing to say why this ingredient and how to apply it. It's an optional. You don't have to say it at each ingredient because sometimes it'll be overwhelming, that's right? But the same structure could be very relevant. Like the same structure here of why, how, and what will be under the ingredient, you can actually repeat this extra cycle if you like to. But we don't want to confuse ourselves at this stage. We want to just make it, okay, then what? I have the ingredient. You basically explain the ingredient. Do you have another story?
For the same topic?
Yeah, for the same ingredient.
For the same ingredient.
Yeah. So if you have another story or you develop a second story, and you can say, and let me now share with you a second story.
Yeah, I do have another story.
Okay? So the more stories you have here around the ingredients, the more what? The more time you spend on this ingredient.
Yeah.
So this relates back to your 20-minute presentation. If I want to make it 40-minute presentation, what I will do now? Literally, I will tell
Tell more stories.
2 stories per ingredients, right? Literally, assuming that the stories will be the same length and whatever.
The what is the DM? Is that the previous what we had like 3D?
Defining moment.
Defining moment. Yeah, 3D defining moment.
Okay. Now, every ingredient should have a conclusion. So, can you conclude what did you learn in this ingredient?
On that ingredient.
Yes. Because remember, you talk about what is the ingredient here, which was like I'm talking about meth. That's right.
Yeah.
And then I'm sharing a story, and you need to wrap up. Okay.
So which is different from the conclusion.
I thought the happy outcome was the
different from the happy
No,
outcome.
this is a happy outcome for the story, not for the ingredient. Now, if you tell more stories, what will happen? So the happy outcome is the conclusion for the story.
So he has to go back to the conclusion and say, so about the miss.
By learning about the mess, she was able to switch back her life.
Yeah.
So the story is why, does it say why, how, or what? Why? What's under stories? When you tell a story.
Why you tell a story?
I thought that's the ingredient is why.
Okay, just accept as a story for now for you.
Okay.
Because everybody else is more advanced in the storytelling from the other courses. So
Okay.
I don't want to confuse them, okay? So, yeah. Now, is it relevant to kick in an activity?
Yeah.
Do you have do you need activity per ingredient?
You don't need an activity per ingredient.
There is not necessary to have
Well, activity or like what? Audience participation, put your hand up, that kind of stuff?
activity means like
do you agree?
no. Do you agree? Is a confirmation. Activity like the spaghetti marshmallow activity we have.
Yeah.
Like when we come and say each one pick up a card and you read the cards, right? So this kind of activities. Pick up a note and write your numbers.
So,
Go. Do you understand these activities?
yeah, I understand it, but
Now, do you need to have one activity per ingredient?
no.
No. But can you consider having activities
As long as it reinforces the ingredient.
as long as reinforce the ingredients? So you should be able to look back to your ingredients and decide which ingredients can afford having activities and which kind of activities you can have to enforce the ingredients, right? Remember, I'm designing my whole workshop from a blank page. I just say all my knowledge is in my head, they're struggling in my head, and I want to have a structure to put them down. Make sense? So for you, which ingredient you will have one of the breathing, which breathing techniques you want to share on this particular, because you have like 9.
Well, this particular one would not lend itself to breathing technique.
No, but the whole topic, the whole workshop, or the whole session.
Topics, yeah.
Yeah. So which one of the breathing techniques you want to apply?
There would be 1, 2, 3 of them in this workshop
And will be tying to which ingredients in the whole?
in the whole thing.
Yeah.
So there's one that says it's 3-step technique to build resilience. It's a third topic,
Yeah.
and that's what the activity would be tied to.
You'll put the 3 activities in this one.
I would put the 3 activities in that one. Oh, so sorry. Let me go back. I would put the first activity, which is a very basic breathing technique, in this one, in the mitts on your body, because then they immediately see the difference right away. And then what I would do is I would tease them and say, well, if you hang on for the next 25 minutes, you will learn even a more powerful technique that's going to kick it up a notch, and then one more powerful technique that sustains that resilience. So I would build it that way, but the first one would be in the Smiths thing.
Okay. Marcel, that's good. Marcel, do you have any activities?
Yep. Two definitely, like creating a list of what you like and what you don't like.
Okay.
This is again related to the realize, the first topic with finding triggers.
Okay. Mike, what kind of activities can you kick in?
Um,
Based on this ingredient, like read these ingredients
yeah.
and brainstorm. And as you know, there is no wrong, there is no right. That's right?
Yeah. I don't know, maybe an activity whereby you ask the audience to list 3 things that they feel are important in their numbers.
Okay. And this will be where? How do you know your numbers, or take control of your
Take
numbers?
control of your numbers.
Okay. So this is an activity of listing 3.
Yeah.
Okay. What other activities they can do as well? And they will share through these activities, right?
Yeah.
And what is the outcome of this particular activity when they share?
To maybe identify missing areas they should be considering.
Yes. And I was actually looking at it from different angle, which is exactly the same as what you said now. I was looking at it from that's understanding numbers are different from somebody else's priorities. So if this is your priority, what you are looking for is 3 areas, mine is different.
Yeah.
Did anybody here does anybody here wants to borrow somebody else's priority?
Yeah.
And if they raise yes, this will give you a complete credibility that you say, you know what, let me show you the list. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, is there any other activity you wanna?
Understanding and taking control of your numbers is knowing what your margins are.
Okay.
What items factor into your margins?
So how you drive activities for what items factor in your numbers? What kind of activity you wanna do? Right there. Because remember, when you ask people how or what, they will sometimes be confused. So you might just give them a samples,
Give them what?
a sample of
Oh, yeah.
profits, of margins, right? Just an example.
Yeah.
1 or 2 or 3 examples,
Okay.
and let them interact with the examples. Okay. Now, high five and agree and disagree and yes or yes, all of this are consistent pattern beside each one of these ingredients. So having high five is giving a group, giving a one-on like a group of 2 or 3 activities and just partition each one of you to group or 2 or 3. It's another way of activities, so they can discuss. So any of these activities you can plan it and inject it where you see is relevant.
Okay.
So for each ingredient for now, what do we have? Story. For each we can consider activities and we can consider conclusion. Now, at the beginning of every activity, what should we do? Same. Why this activity is important, how they can apply it. That's right. And then you have the activity, which is the what, and then you should conclude
What is
with
how again? Sorry.
sorry,
How it's important.
how you can apply it.
Okay.
And then you should be able to conclude of the outcome of the activity. And you get that agreement here. So if I want to share, so now I will share with you an exercise for appraising techniques, and it's very it's to demonstrate to you that you can take control out of your heart blood flow. That's right. Shamir, are you for? And I will share with you these appraising techniques, and you can basically using it on a daily basis once you need it. And here I will exercise with you the appraising techniques, and I will conclude with saying, did you feel that change? That's right.
Yeah.
So for any activity, you should always share why and how they can apply it on a daily basis outside the contest.
Do you do that before the activity? Do you do that after the activity?
As a rule of thumb, from Tony Robbins, we learned that you never do anything without explaining to people why you do it. So I will tell you a story, and I will share with you a story because I want to show you 1, 2, 3, 4. So why and how, it's very important to capture people's interest.
The third one is that when?
No, the third one is what the activity itself, like
Okay.
the activity itself. So what is the activity? So here is the activity.
And then that's his conclusion.
And the conclusion is you must get them to conclude, because adult learning, people has to
Cement it.
not only cement it, but also they must have a pattern of interrupt. So when you provide conclusions, a conclusion is considered a pattern of interrupt.
Is that like the learning outcome of the activity?
The learning outcome of the activity and how it's applied to you
Okay.
right now. How do you feel it? And do you agree? They said yes. Make sense?
Sorry, can you say the conclusion again? How it applies to you?
No. How was the experience?
Wow.
So in any activity, you should have a conclusion. And the conclusion has to end up with a confirmation from the floor or from the audience. Make sense?
I get it. That seems. I get it.
You are ahead of us, my friend. Did you get it? We didn't get it. My pocket is empty, so I didn't get it. Make sense? So, the second part of ingredients, do you have also testimonials? Do you have testimonials relevant to the ingredient? What's the difference between a story and testimonial?
It's from a person's perspective.
That's it. That's right. Do you have should you have a testimonial per ingredient?
Yes.
No.
For activity, maybe.
No.
No, it's not.
It's not necessary. The most important part is to have a story per ingredient.
You have to have a story per.
You should have at least one story per ingredient.
Yeah.
So particularly if you talk to people online. So on the slides, you should tell stories, because we will learn only by stories. Inside the story, you can show your examples, you can show your social media information, you can do everything. So the second part will be what kind of images or videos or interface you can share with this ingredient or reflect to this ingredient. So what kind of images? For example, if you want to talk about control of your numbers, the images will be for financial statement, that's right? Or for bank accounts, that's right? If you have a social media like Facebook kind of ingredient, what you will have there? An image of a Facebook interface, that's right? A profile interface, a page interface, that's right?
Examples.
When I had ingredients like I want to talk about customer service, I had the Seinfeld videos
Right.
because I was talking about ingredients. So you should also give a shot.
But that's not testimonial.
No, this is a video.
We're not on testimonials anymore?
No.
Oh, okay. That's why I was confused. What? Well, yeah. You just.
So what kind of images, what kind of videos can you have for this particular ingredient?
Examples of good posts or examples of good pages.
Write them down. Write them down. Marcel, what's
Yeah, for me, for the first ingredient, which was what are the triggers? An image which shows how somebody gets angry or being pointed at, or
Very
a
relevant.
video showing that, or if I relate it to the activity, a person sitting down and creating that list, writing down the triggers, depending on where in that presentation I show the image, because that's not a chronological order, right? That
No,
image
this is
can
not-
be up while I tell the story.
This
for
is not a
example.
chronological
Yeah.
order. And by the way, the video is what? Most of the time. The video clip will be what?
The story
Story.
itself.
Yeah. So these are ingredients ingredient of the ingredient. These are the component. Okay, just to pick up other language. So this are the component where how I can talk about one ingredient. Make sense? So
So you could spend 20 minutes on an ingredient.
Or this,
I spend literally in my workshop about between half an hour to 2 hours per ingredient. Because remember, one of the ingredients is to go through you came through the 3D workshop.
Yeah.
You know this colored booklet?
Mhm.
So on Soar Your Strengths, we spend like 2 hours.
Mhm.
So the ingredient of Soar Your Strengths, I have the workbook, and then I will just go on this whole ingredient for 2 hours. And I have all the testimonials, all the samples. As a matter of fact, the sheets which will come here will be very similar to each workshop. You'll be surprised like how they are very close. Even the sheets come from the flip chart.
Mhm.
So I spend 2 hours on this ingredient. There are some other components which will be like 1 hour.
also,
So when you plan these topics for a 3 days workshop,
Mhm.
the ingredients will not be minutes. That's right. Or he has 100 hour. He wants to make it 100 hour, which is close to 3 weeks
Yeah.
training. That's right. But if I plan this for a 1 day workshop or 3 hours talk or 3 hours training session, the ingredient will be relevant to 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, make sense? So this is an example how it can be. Yeah. So you can basically, one of the difficult scenarios I had, that the videos I want to use, which is snow business. You can see the snow business.
Snowboard. Oh, the snow business. Yeah.
Okay, maybe in the second I can just play you the snow business. Very interesting video. So I had like 4 or 5 video clips. My issue was some of them are 15 minutes. So the only way to show the 15 minutes is to do it, to compress it. So I compress the video twice or 3 times speed. So people will be able to spend only 5 to 8 minutes per video. Because if I get you for 15-minute video, you'll fall asleep. That's right.
Mhm.
So this was one of the challenges I have. So in summary, for this particular initial session, what we did. This session is very relevant to video component. If you want to produce video courses, if you want to produce training courses, if you want to produce any material to deliver. We partition our presentations into 3 main categories. Category number 1, where we sell our programs, which we covered in a different training material. We also talk about keynotes, where you can basically deliver keynote. And what I'm talking about today more is on the delivery side or the program side. It can be a little bit relevant to keynote, however, I want to focus it more on the delivery side. So how I can design my course when I want to deliver it, I will come and say, here is my course name. Okay? If you decide that this course will be part of a course series of like 4 sub courses or 10 course series, which title will go here?
The series.
if the series will go here, the topics of the series will be where? The title of each course will be where?
In your topics.
Will be under topic, that's right. And if the title which will go here will be the single lecture of the series will go here, what will end up being here? The learning. Do you see how it's relevant? So I can use this model as follows. If this will be for my whole 10 courses program, if I put the title of the 10 course program here, I should end up having the topics as my individual course title. Make sense? Do you agree? Then I will take each one of these titles and I will create another sheet for this title, and I will put the single course title here. For every single course title, it should have a set of benefits. I can mirror the set of benefits into the following 5-7-3 approach. I can mirror them into 5 topics. It will be primarily driven by you reading through your benefits. Then I can add 7 extra topics beyond the 5. Then can I push myself to have 3? Once I achieve this 15 topic, I can eliminate what's not important. I can merge the topics together. I can split the topics if I like. You should do at least one round like this. And then you will be able to order them into logical order. That's right?
Say that one more time. The distill part. So you have your topics.
So I have my 15 topic. I have to give it 4 cycles. Cycle number 1, I can eliminate topics I don't like. So I can merge 2 topics together.
Eliminate. I thought that was evaluate.
No, eliminate. Eliminate, merge, split, and then order them.
Well, that omit as the last one.
Order them in sequence.
Okay.
Give it logical sequence. How many logical sequence for 7 topics? There are plenty of logical sequences, okay? Then for every topic, I should be able to validate why it's important, how the customers or the audience will listen to it, and what are the ingredients I will cover under this topic. The number of ingredients, we recommend 3, okay? And you can actually,
Hey.
Yeah, merge, split.
No, eliminate, merge, split, and order.
Oh, order.
okay?
No way.
So eliminate, merge, split, and order. Then you have your why, how, and you can have the 3 ingredients. And then you can have 3 ingredients, 2 ingredients. You can always merge them if you like, or you can go ahead with 5 ingredients. Now, for each ingredient, I can figure out what stories I need for the ingredient. I can plan activity if it's relevant. I can figure out testimonials. I can figure out images, videos, or interface I want to show. I can have a conclusion. Now, when I talk about the ingredient, is there a way to automatically extract content for an ingredient? Like, do you have enough language to answer any ingredient? Or to talk about any ingredient? Do you have enough language?
Yeah.
Or you need help with language about the ingredient?
We said language.
Like, do you have enough statements and words to cover the ingredient?
I'll know when I get there.
Okay. If you know, you will know what when you'll get there. However, if you don't know, you can always do the following. You can figure out 3 questions to ask about this ingredient, and you can answer, make these 3 questions big statements, and then speak for 1 to 3 minutes per statement. This is always a technique if you get stuck. So if you get stuck on any topic or ingredient, what you do? What you do if you get stuck?
Ask the questions.
Ask 3 questions, then make the question into big sentences or statements, and then speak on this statement for 1 to 3 minutes.
Can you take us through an example?
Give me a topic. Give me a topic from your list.
Huh?
Give me a topic from your list.
My list.
Same topic.
Same topic, sure. Myths that keep you from thriving.
So what type of methods will keep you from thriving?
Not having the proper mindset.
So I will make it a big sentence first. So I will start and say the type of methods keep you from striving it are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's right?
Yeah.
The second question will be why they will keep you from striving. So I will answer the question. I will not give them the question, my audience. I will ask. And they keep you from striving because people will live within their boundaries and they don't move beyond. They have the shift. Do you agree? The way to move out, which is the how, the way to move out from the mess you have in your mind by expand your knowledge and look for information elsewhere, and first believe that this mess doesn't exist. So you have first to believe that you can change and move forward. Do you guys want now to agree that you can achieve and move forward? So any topic, if you can ask 3 questions, and for the 3 questions are very simple because the 3 questions can be what, how, when, who, why, which. What other, there's one more.
I was more like, I get that, but what about the big statement?
The biggest statement will be the answer for these questions. So you don't tell them the questions. You basically start with the statement.
Oh, I see.
The where is the one you're missing, if it's relevant.
Where?
Where?
So these are the 7 type of questions you can ask around any topic. We usually have these exercises in some situation where can you bring 5 words that you don't know about it? And we can do this exercise. Like we are right now at the 2-hour mark, but we can do this exercise if you guys are still have energy to move forward.
So repeat those 3 cues again.
Sorry? I will show you how to do it. So what kind of word did you have? I will show you exactly how you do it.
I don't want to know how to do it. I want to know what those 7 words were.
Oh, who, what, when, where, why, how.
Which,
Who, what,
Whom's,
where, when, why,
how, and which. So which word did you mention?
capacitor.
Capacitor. Shamir, can you pick up a word that you don't know the meaning of it?
I can't think of one. The word, I'm sure there's a word out there, but I'm not aware of it, so I don't know the meaning of it.
Anybody can tell us words as they don't know what this means?
a word, I don't know what it means.
Yes.
Whomstiff.
Sorry?
Whomstiff.
Homostov?
Yeah, it's like an apostrophe T. Like whomst. Xavier?
I don't know.
Desire.
I don't know.
Dab.
Sorry?
Dab.
Dab? Dab, I'll teach you that.
I'll teach you capacitor.
Did I pick up another word?
Oh, dab or dab? What did you say?
With a B.
Yeah, the B.
DAB.
D-A-B.
1B.
Did I pick up another word? Zemoji. So, how can you speak about these five words without knowing what they are, and make it a very interesting conversation?
You have to bullshit your way through most of it.
We are doing this exercise not to bullshit. We are doing this exercise to show, like, if I want to talk about Zemoji, how can I talk about Zemoji?
You ask the audience a question. Do you know what?
No, like, I have to come and explain Zemoji. That's right. So what kind of 3 questions I can ask around Zemoji?
Oh, what is it?
Okay. And what other question can I ask?
When does it happen?
When did it happen?
Yeah.
Or when can I use it? And what's the third question?
Which circumstances have to happen for an emoji to exist?
Okay. Now, what from these 3 questions, what do you think the emoji could be? It could be a reaction in the space. It could be a location where we can visit. It could be a tool I can use. Based on these 3 questions, we can decide what is the emoji about. That's right. So when you say what kind of circumstances will happen for the emoji to exist, it means what? It's a phenomena,
Yeah.
or a natural occurrence, or a reaction. That's right. So by just asking relevant question, we can rationalize the word, which is I just came up with a sequence of characters from my mind right now.
That's why we didn't get it.
Okay. So if you agree on this quick sample or quick example, how you can explain a topic that you don't know, you can. Now, we don't do this for our business, but this is an example. So when individuals want to write fictions, and this is where I learned these techniques about how you can write science fictions or different fiction stories, they came up with these questions, they can have this illusion, they put up this name, because this could be what?
The name of person.
Or a name of a location, that's right?
Or an event?
Or an event, or an instrument, how to play it, or a car brand.
Could be anything. It's a word.
That's right. So when we ask individuals, can you come up with a word you don't know? Yes, we do know words that we don't know. And the words we don't know comes from where? By augmented or concatenated different characters that we don't know. They make sense. Vowel and consonant. And then we have this name. So this name will be what? Is the brand of a new machine? Is the location we go to? It's a character coming from the space. Is a different human race, or human or different creatures we don't know? It's what? Or it's a precious item or precious stone you can find in the space. Or it's a new metal. It can be any of the above. If you ask relevant questions, you will give it a context in front of your audience eyes.
Yeah, because you define what the word is, and you create the word through your language.
And there's nothing different than going to your topics and ask the same words around your ingredient.
Right, because they're unfamiliar.
Okay, so here is the ingredient. I can ask 3 of these 7 questions and I can answer them. Now, why 3, not the 7? Because it will be too systematic to ask 7 every time, that's right?
And always the same ones, right?
And all the same ones, right? Make sense?
So you ask 3 of those 7, or 3 different questions?
3 questions out of these 7. There is no other questions you can ask.
I guess so.
Okay? Maybe you can find 1 or 2, but I don't think there is any other questions you can ask other than...
So you're saying it's important to address 3 alternate questions, not always the same 3.
Yes. And this is, you use this tool when you get stuck into what? When you get stuck into
Describing your ingredient.
describing your ingredient. So this is a back pocket tool that you can use. So you can basically come up with words to be able to provide your video course. Okay, any questions? Okay, so can we have a lunch break, and after lunch convene here at 1 o'clock? And do you wanna keep on the same topic, so we can by the end of the day have at least few hours of your video script ready, so you can record your video courses?
Oh, cool.
Mike, are you okay with this agreement? So we can reapply this concept on different part of your video.
So we're gonna make one topic video, one
Hmm.
video topic.
So what are you asking?
Are you okay to continue the same topic after the lunch, so you can basically end up at the end of the day having a full script of at least 1 to 2 hours of your video
Okay.
or
Yeah.
more?
Wow.
Does
So-
everybody have a topic that they want to create a video course in?
So is this different than the book that I'm making? That this will be a video?
This is a workshop. Yeah, this can be a workshop, seminar, video. It can be. This is a delivery component.
Yeah, because I usually work through like personally one-on-one with clients when I go through these. But I guess
This is planned to be delivery of courses, and,
Okay.
and programs and workshops.
so I could sell like this video. Okay, yeah, let's do that.
What do you want to do around this table?
It seems like there's a lot of work that background work I gotta do before I can get this done by 4 o'clock.
And I can show you that you don't need to have background work.
Okay, I'm open.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm open, because I just see 10 hours trying to pull it together, so.
Where you are, Mike, on this, go through the process, but sounds like you can actually get the outline done before the content.
And if the outline is not organized, the content has no meaning.
Okay.
So you just have to think of the structure of your outline. I think that's what you
Yeah.
Can we use one of those big sheets then when we do our full list?
Yep, you can. I can get you more sheets. No, we have lots of big sheets.
Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.